Nightmare silently mounted the stairs. The door of the upstairs unit had only a knob lock and a deadbolt. Child's play. Less than 2 minutes from the time he'd left his van, Nightmare was inside Thorson's apartment. He paused and took in the feel of the place. The most imposing item in the living room was a massive bookcase that took up nearly all of one wall. The shelves were full. The other walls were sparsely decorated with small watercolors matted and delicately framed. The furniture was tasteful and spare, all light tones. The whole place felt clean and uncluttered. Nightmare went to the bookcase and scrutinized Thorson's taste in reading. The shelves were nearly equally divided between classic nonfiction texts that covered a lot of territory: Bernowski, Levi Strauss, Chomsky, Jung, Heilbronner, Galbraith, Campbell, and fiction and poetry almost entirely American: Mark Twain, Walt Whitman, William Carlos Williams, Faulkner, Steinbeck, Wharton, Dos Passos, Sandberg, Frost, Angelou, Mailer, Dove. Thorson had a signed first edition in excellent condition of Tom Jorgensen's autobiography, The Testament of Time. Years ago, when the book had first been released, Nightmare had read it and thought that, except for hiding the fact that he was a liar and a betrayer, Jorgensen told a pretty good tale. The worn covers seemed to indicate that many of the books had been well read, although they may have simply come used from second-hand bookstores. Nightmare couldn't be certain yet. He was just getting to know Thorson. The agent subscribed to several magazines: Time, The New Yorker, Smithsonian, and one of Nightmare's favorites since childhood, National Geographic. The television with a 13-inch screen sat like a forgotten child on a small table in one corner of the living room. There was also a sound system and a carousel of CDs that contained mostly jazz. In the kitchen, the refrigerator was adequately stocked, though nothing in quantity. Fruit, yogurt, cheese, bagels, milk, juice. No leftovers. There were a half-dozen chilled cans of beer, something called Pig's Eye. The cupboards contained a modest supply of dishware, the basics. The small dining room table had only 2 chairs. In the bathroom, clean matching towels hung on the racks. The medicine cabinet held no prescription drugs. The first bedroom that Nightmare checked contained only a computer desk, computer hardware, and a chair surrounded by shelves of books. Thorson appeared to have an even more inquisitive nature than Nightmare had realized. In the second bedroom, the bed was neatly made. All of Thorson's dirty clothing had been put in a wicker hamper. A paperback copy of Lonesome Dove lay on the nightstand. A makeshift bookmark, the ace of spades from a deck of playing cards, showed that Thorson was nearly 3/4 finished, almost to the place where Gus bit the dust, a sad but truthful piece of storytelling. Thorson had a large clothes closet. Half of it was used to hang suits, pants, and shirts. The other half was given over to a respectful housing of the uniform, armor, and sword of kendo, the Japanese art of fencing. Nightmare was intrigued that Thorson was a man who apparently understood Bushido, the way of the warrior. In the whole apartment, Thorson had but 2 photographs on display, both framed and set on the bureau in the bedroom. The first was a black and white blow-up of a beautiful woman in a party gown. From the cut of the gown and the style of the woman's blonde hair, Nightmare judged that the picture had probably been taken in the early 70s. The picture was remarkable in one very particular way. In her face and in her Nordic build, the woman reminded him of Kathleen Jorgensen Dixon. Nightmare smiled and wondered if Thorson even realized the similarities. The second photograph was of a short elderly couple with their arms tenderly around each other. In the background stood a barn sporting a new coat of red paint. Nightmare was almost certain there were more pictures somewhere. Everyone had a history, and almost everyone had that history documented in photographs, in certificates and diplomas, in ribbons from high school track meets, and medals from the Scouts. Some people kept everything, others very little. But almost everyone kept something. Nightmare discovered Thorson's history in a big cardboard box.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.